23 for all the different categories we got in the pro wrestling end of things. But before we get to that, I got to tell you about our fine sponsors at Potter's Tree Service. If you're in the need for tree trimming, tree removal, walnut logging, lot clearing, any of that good stuff, Potter's Tree Service is the way to go. But hey, I can show you a lot better than I can tell you. So check out this commercial from our sponsors and enjoy the show. Comment below what you guys got for these categories too. All right.
This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Rock, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts.
Cover! We got a new world champion!
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast, baby! There's a real deal, baby!
Knockouts and 3 Counts starts now.
Ooh, what up, though? Devin is back. It is the Knockouts. We got a lot of pro wrestling to talk about in the year of 2023. Devin, how the fuck are you?
Hey, man, I'm chilling, man. Got a week off, man. You know, I can't say that too often, so I thought I'd jump on with you guys and wrap up the year as far as wrestling goes, man. So it's good to be on the show, man. It's been a minute.
Fuck yeah, it has been a minute. It might have been since the year-end awards last year.
It's been about a year, I think.
Right? That might have been like Devin's like annual run until he gets on a better shift. But J-Bone, how the fuck are you? How you feeling about the year of pro wrestling?
Man, what a year. I've been looking through everything, just a year in review of just indies to WWE to AEW to MLW, you name it. There's been so much good wrestling, bro. It's almost impressive that we get to break it down, narrow it down. Like, how do we even do that, right? With all the good wrestling that's been this year. So we're going to break it down today. I'm excited, man. I still got the WWE live hangover going on from last night. I think my ears are still ringing, but it could just be these headphones on my head. So.
Oh yeah! Good. Shout out to past guest of the show, D-Mac. I ended up kicking it with him and watching that show. It ended up being pretty good. And for all of you on the internet that were saying that it was shitty attendance, you're a lie. It was. That's not true. But with that,
drop number 1 of the show. How many are we gonna get up to? What's the over under the J-Bone?
Oh what? Oh,
name drop for Kyle during this episode. That's 1. What's the over under? I'm gonna say 3.5.
3.5. I'm gonna go with you 3.5. I'm gonna go with you 3.5.
All right.
Don't be mad because you're tied up doing daddy duties and you don't get to come out on the fucking. You don't get to come have the fun anymore,
busted, man. We get to bust your balls for once.
Oh no, I know. Trust me. This is nothing new with Devin. I don't expect any less, but he's just mad because he's doing the daddy thing and doesn't get to fucking come have all the fun anymore.
I love my child.
I didn't say you didn't. I didn't say that. I said you don't get to do the fun stuff anymore. That's all I said.
This is the fun stuff, man. Getting kicked in the face by a 2-year-old, man. She V-triggers me like on the daily. So, yeah. Ain't that right, baby?
So to stop you from getting hit with the V-trigger again, I'll let you pick the first category. Which one do you want?
Oh man, let's go with heel of the year, man.
Okay, you go first.
All right, so I think I know where everybody's going to go on this one. I think it's going to be one or two people. So I'm a swerve on this one. I'm not picking Swerve Strickland, even though he did have. But Callis, man, I think this dude, for him to been out of wrestling for as long as he has, to come back, and work his way back in as a top heel, man, and basically be better than he ever has. I think he's done a great job. Like the second he walks out there, man, that crowd turns on him, and they boo him the entire promo. It's another guy that does the same thing in the same company. I think one of you guys are probably going to pick him. But I'm going to go with Don Callis, man, and he's building a nice faction. He's actually giving my man Powerhouse Hobbs something to do, and Fletcher and Takeshita. I think that's going to be a nice little faction in next year, man.
Yo, and the way he did Sammy last night on Dynamite, though, like that was fucked up.
Hey, he be savage with it too, man. It's like you're gonna fail as a father, just like you are. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. He really pushes the envelope, man.
Don Callis is the classic example of the guy who just tries to completely bank on the fact that he's got like a group of killers that are going to just jump you if you do anything. But then that's the hard part when you got a guy that's a conniver like Callis, who also could piss said badasses off, and then he might not have any more badasses to protect him anymore. But that's definitely not a bad pick. J-Bone, who you got?
Dude, all right, so I narrowed it down to 3. And I think we're all pretty close here on what it could be, what it will be for me. But I flipped the coin. I'm sticking in AEW, man. I'm picking Christian Cage. That's my heel of the year. That dude comes out red hot fire every time. You hate to see him. You hate to hear him, but you know what you're there for, right? You love to hate him. He reminds me of like the Triple H thing. Like, you're so good as a bad guy that we love you so much. You know what I mean? Like, dude has no boundaries, man. So Christian Cage is my pick for heel of the year.
Fuck you.
I steal your pick again. I love going before you, man, because I get to steal your picks.
Well, good. At least you going before me means that I can switch it to my other pick then. My pick was going to be Christian Cage, and I think for the same reasons that you mentioned, especially with what they're doing now and the fact that he's managed to get Nick Wayne's mom on his side at this point too, and just vile shit he does, the way he dogs out Luchasaurus all the time, or Kill Switch, excuse me. I think Christian is the pick, but if it's not Christian, I'm shocked neither of the other of you two said it. So Dominic Mysterio, like that guy, the second I didn't hear anything of what you just said, but
he was one of 3 guys I thought was on the list. So that's why I went with Don Callis. I didn't think anybody would pick him. But Dom, go ahead, man.
Dom has to be, if it's not Christian, it's got to be Dom. And that's because, I mean, that guy, I used to think that the noise was like piped in until I was there and heard it live. Like, they boo the shit out of this kid.
They do.
They boo the hell out of this kid. Like, I mean, and then when you think about, and I mean, I guess his run doesn't necessarily have to do with him being a heel, but, you know, the fact that you got him being like the spoiled child kind of thing with his dad, Rey Mysterio, and then the work the guys put in the ring, like his run with the North American Championship, I thought was really well done. He had a lot of good matches there, both on NXT and on SmackDown. And I think the match that he had with Dragon Lee to lose said title, I feel like elevated Dragon Lee as well. So if I'm not picking Christian Cage, Dom Mysterio would be my pick because, like I said, you can't deny it. They boo that kid out of the building.
And you know, it's crazy.
Every time.
They trust him. They really do trust him because think about the guys that he's been working with lately. He had Randy's first singles match back. He had Punk's first singles match back at the Garden the other night. They trust this kid to do a great job in there, and he's doing really good. We've only been dealing with him for 2 years, something like that. This kid's got a long way to go, man. So you're looking at a future champ right there, future star.
And to not have any indie experience before that either.
Sure.
Like, I mean, sure, he trained for like a long time before Ray would let him wrestle, but like he ain't been in the game that long to
star in the making.
You're not wrong, dude. He's gonna be money for WWE for a long time. All right, who you got, J-Bone? What's the next category?
Let's see. Let's do pay-per-view of the year.
Okay, which one you got?
I'm going first. Okay. I got it down to 2, man. I'm just gonna tell you my runner-ups, Forbidden Door 2. I was gonna go with that one, but I just couldn't. So for me, as watching a pay-per-view, I need engagement, right? I need crowd engagement, build up. Are we invested? And for me, one of my favorites being invested this year was Elimination Chamber 23.
It wasn't the one I thought you were going to pick.
Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, man, they put on a show. And like I said, it wasn't even the best technical wrestling match, but the way that Canada and the WWE universe was invested into that story and that match, we were neck deep in the bloodline thing, right? And at that point in time, we thought Sami could have pulled it off. He didn't, but turned out to be a great pay-per-view. Elimination Chamber matches, obviously, are always great. But for me, I think that's the one that sticks out the most, 2023, Elimination Chamber.
All right, I'm going to go so y'all fuckers can't take my pick again.
Oh, you're not going to let Devin try to steal your pick? Come on, man.
Hell no. You already did it last time, all right? So, no.
Got to keep it going.
Nah. I feel like he's probably not going to pick the one that I picked anyway, but just for safekeeping. My pay-per-view of the year was Backlash in Puerto Rico. That show was badass. The crowd was insane. The return of Carlito was insane. Bad Bunny and Damian Priest showed out. Like, I was so impressed by Bad Bunny after that. And I mean, dude,
you remember his entrance on?
Yes, man.
Yeah, man. That's why I started bopping a little bit. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what he was saying.
His entrance, I think, was shared on TikTok. Like, it was some kind of record at that point. But like, the entrance of Bad Bunny at Backlash was something insane,
dude. And I mean, I'm a big proponent of, like, for me, like, not that the crowd is like what makes a pay-per-view, but when you can have that added, like, energy of a crowd just being that hype and just in it the whole time. And I thought the LWO thing came off so great. The fact that they, even for Savio Vega, bro, they were hype as hell for Savio Vega. So I just, from start to finish, man, I remember watching that show like, damn, this shit is just, they're getting at it. And I mean, again, that match just really stole the show for me and was like, damn, dude, like, this is actually really good. And not just because, oh, it's good for a celebrity. Like, I'm legit like, yo, this was really good. So,
and if I remember correctly, isn't Backlash the one that's right after WrestleMania, right?
Yes.
So that's usually like our kind of calm down pay-per-view after the big shows, man. And that definitely wasn't a calm pay-per-view. That was like something special to see in Puerto Rico, man. So I'm with you on that. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up here for anybody that didn't know the matches. You have eliminating matches. Why do they not got it? They don't have this all.
I know that was the night. The main event was Brock and Cody. I know that.
Main event was Brock and Cody, and that was just nuts. And then they talk a lot about Bad Bunny and Priest, like I said. But I mean, that card was, dude. Seriously, like I said, here you go. Results. I got the whole thing. You had Bianca Belair defeated Io Sky. You had Seth Rollins defeated Omos. That wasn't the best match. Austin Theory defeated Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed by pinfall. You had Rhea Ripley beat Zelina Vega, which, oh my God, the hype going into that and the video from her being Puerto Rican and everything. Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest. You had the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Jay and Jimmy Uso defeated Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn by pinfall. And then, like you said, you had Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar.
Huge. Great card.
All right, which one you got, Devin?
So for me, I was thinking about Elimination Chamber 2. I felt like that was like the culmination of the whole Bloodline story because it kind of went downhill after that. But I got to go before that. I got to go with the Royal Rumble. I think he had 2 great Rumble matches, and then the build-up of Sammy and Roman and Kevin Owens and that whole storyline playing out at the end of the show, man, I think for me that was the best pay-per-view of the year. And honestly, it's one of the only few pay-per-views I got to watch this year because of my daughter, but I have to watch her all the time. But
one more time, what was the event on that one?
The Royal Rumble?
Yeah, okay, the Royal Rumble. Okay. I just didn't hear the show name for a second.
Yeah. The Rumble. And it's one of the few pay-per-views I actually got to watch this year from beginning to end. And I thought it was a great show. Matter of fact, we got to watch it at J-Bo's crib, man. Yeah. So
you're gonna do it again this year. You're invited, man. If you got the time, you can make it. You're more than
Somebody's got to make Corey's ass come out of the house since I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to be at the Royal Rumble. Corey, somebody's got to drag Corey back so he can lose that belt since the bastard took it off of me. But
yeah. But no, that was a good one though. I remember the ending there when Sammy hit Roman with the chair. Man, that was huge. It almost overshadowed the Royal Rumble itself. You know what I mean? It was such a big deal.
But that story was right in the heat then, dude.
Man,
it was dude, the tension and the tension and the vibe in the crowd after that.
Yeah,
100%.
Yep. Good picks.
All right, I guess that means that I gotta pick next. All right, I'll take the one that you and I were talking about before we got on here, J-Bone, that we both said was going to be an issue. So I'm going to go with Indie Wrestler of the Year. And so I'm going to preface this by saying I think J-Bone's with me. We're going to have honorable mentions for people that we had on for the show as well. But for me, it really kind of comes down to two people, and it's not people that I think people would necessarily think off the rip. My first pick, he actually does happen to be a past guest of the show as well, not in interview sit-down interview form, but in pressers. But my first pick was going to be Matt Cardona. Based on all the stuff that he's been doing with the Indie God thing and all the stuff him and Steph DeLander have been doing. But then when I sat back and thought about it a little more, I was trying to look at like what I thought were things that should factor into that. What were things that made me think, okay, this guy should be this guy or this girl should be the Indie Wrestler of the Year. And so for me, even though he's gotten to wrestle on AEW a couple times now, I feel like Bounty Keith is my pick.
That's a good one.
Because I've seen this guy. I saw this guy wrestle in freelance when we were in Chicago. You know, what he's done on AEW and what we saw here in Detroit at Circle 6. And again, there's just something about that entrance, bro. We'll start tipping on fofos. It gets
I'm telling you,
it gets hype in this mug. So stay tuned for that 2024. We're definitely going to have to get Bounty Keith on here. We were supposed to have him on when him and JD Griffey from this show were going at it for VIP wrestling. So if I'm picking one, I'm going to go with Bounty Keith. If I had a number two, it would be Matt Cardona. But as far as guests that we've had on the show, it's got to be Tommy Vendetta for me as an honorable mention. Because, I mean, they just picked up the H2O titles, what he's been doing with ICW and all that stuff there. Like I said, that guy I think is going to have a big 2024. I'm hearing a lot of rumors of him and Alec Price, who you might be seeing come to a show near you soon. Like I said, I think as far as in the state, not many people are making bigger noise right now than Tommy Vendetta. But whichever one of you fine gentlemen would like to go next.
Go ahead, Devin. He done took all my picks anyway, you bastard.
Okay, so I'm going to have to get
does it?
Payback, man. You got payback on me, damn it.
I'm going to have to get clarification from the judges if this one counts. But I'm going to go with Speedball Mike Bailey.
Definitely counts.
Are we going to count Speedball?
Yes. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
All right. I guess J-Bone says we're counting it. So, all right, let's go.
And the reason why I say that is that when you think about WrestleMania weekend, yeah, of course you think about Mania. You think about, ROH has their show. But GCW shows and all the other little indie shows, man, Mike Bailey for the past 2 years has been the star of those those weekends, man. Everybody come out of that weekend talking about, did you see Speedball versus this guy? Speedball versus this guy. And even right now with Mustafa Ali coming back on the Indies, one of the big matches they're talking about, people wanted to see was, is he going to fight Speedball Mike Bailey? So if the stars who are getting released by WWE and AEW, and they're one of the first people they want to wrestle is Speedball Mike Bailey on the Indies, I'm going to have to go with that guy as the Indie Star of the Year. And if you've never seen this guy wrestle, man, go see him live. If you can watch him on TV, that's fine too, but you got to see this guy live on an indie show when he goes all out. Speedball Mike Bailey.
I'm not mad at that at all. Not who I was expecting. I didn't know if we were going to do that because it's Impact, but I mean, you're not wrong, dude. I've seen him on so many different cards against so many different people. And like you said, even with Mustafa Ali coming back, that's a match that I would really like to see as well. So, yeah, shout out to Speedball Mike Bailey.
That's what we were talking about earlier. It's so hard for the entire year of 2023 for the indie wrestlers because they've bounced around. Like, you got the Ring of Honor stuff where indie guys have shown up. Impact Wrestling, indie guys have shown up. GCW, like, it's all over the map. But for these guys to come in and do such good wrestling, you know what I mean? It's so special for indies in 2023, man. But it's my turn, right?
Yep.
Okay, so even though Kyle done took all my picks and it's all good, whatever, I'm still going with Brian Keith, man. It just that's got to be, like we said, we see this guy everywhere. This dude is all over the place. You log into any social media, independent wrestling wise, there's his name. And I don't remember what month it was, but going back to the Speedball Mike Bailey thing, what was it, New Texas Pro Wrestling or something like that? Him and Speedball had a hell of a banger ass match, and that just implements that right there, right? So that's my pick for number one. But honorable mentions, I'm gonna have to say Tommy Vendetta. The kid's every year we talk about this kid, and he's just going bigger and bigger and bigger every year. We just seen what he did at RPW at a skate park. Remember that? That was insane. Third for me, I'm gonna say Cruel, just because that's just my personal pick. I like what he does. I like the whole monster persona in wrestling, man. I always dug that, and that dude is violent as hell. So that's gonna be my top three right there. But Brian Keith, number one.
All right. Well, I picked the last one. So who y'all got? Who's got next? J-Bone, you're picking.
Is it my pick now? I think it's Devin's pick.
All right, Devin.
All right, I'm gonna say it before everybody else does. The tag team of the year is FTR. Go.
I'm with you. We could fly right through this one. Hey,
we had a few of these on the MMA awards, which if you missed the MMA Combat Sports edition of the Knockouts, go back and check that out. But yeah, man, when you're talking
an easy one,
when you're talking tag teams, it's really hard for it not to be FTR. Because, like, shout out to past guest of the show, Dave LaGreca. I was watching the Busted Open Awards and all that stuff, and I was listening to some of their picks, and obviously you could say, like, you could say Damian Priest and Finn Balor. You could say, I mean, you could go a bunch of different ways with the tag teams, especially with who's been tag team champions and things of that nature. You could go Sammy and Kevin. They were the ones that won it on their thing. But as far as an overall tag team, FTR, and they've been the only one that stayed together the whole time.
Yeah. Dude, you could put up a blueprint of here's what tag team wrestling should be, and you're only gonna have a picture of FTR. That's just it. That's the bottom line, man. So you can't really go any other way on this one.
Yeah,
argue it. You can't argue it, man.
There's no argument. I don't think there's any argument here. That is the definition of tag team wrestling right there.
You call that a free space.
Yeah.
There is no runner-ups. Yeah. There's no honorable mentions. There's one trophy for one team, and that's it.
Hell yeah. All right, Devin, who you got? Which next category?
Oh, I'm going twice? Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, no, you did. No, I thought you picked the last one, J-Bo. My bad. In that case, I'll pick next. Let's go. All right. Now, this is one that before we did the show, we've all kind of had like a lot of conversation back and forth on whether this needs to be like two separate categories, so we can just do them back to back. But I do feel like it kind of needs to be two separate categories, because I feel like 2024 breakout star is LA Knight. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to say that. I'm not to say that. I mean, when they were here for SummerSlam, the way that place came unglued. Last night when we were at the holiday event, place came unglued, and they're on every word that this guy's saying. You know, that guy was as hot can be. Had a couple different title matches. Obviously, he didn't win the title, but I think he's as hot as you can get in WWE right now. Especially when you consider merch sales and all that stuff too, which he's been in the top of that all year too.
Yep.
That guy's moving all the needles. I think LA Knight is the breakout star of 2024, even though he's older.
Pick this one. Pick this one. No, pick two.
Well, no, I said no. I was saying the breakout star and the prospect. We'll just do them back to back. So my pick for the
like to sneak three in there, so can't nobody else say nothing.
now my pick for the prospect for 2024 is because I feel like even though he was really hot in 2023, I feel like it didn't kind of come to like the end portion of the year. I feel like who's going to be hot in 2024. I think there's going to be a lot of swerving when people are driving. I think Swerve is going to be somebody to watch in AEW as a major player, especially even if you watch just the triple threat match that they just had on AEW on Wednesday, man. Like, we've been big fans of Swerve for a long time, from the stuff that he was doing with Evolve to him showing me the pig when we went to go get tattooed in Jacksonville. I got a lot of love for Swerve Strickland. So I definitely think he'll be next up 2024, but I think the breakout star for 2023 is LA Knight. Yeah.
You know what? Here, motherfucker. You know that? I was gonna write off that. I mean, I think that's easy. Breakout star 2023, man. There was no one bigger than LA Knight. You know, the catchphrases to the title matches to the popularity of the merch sales. Like you said, he moved every needle possible. So 2023 breakout star, LA Knight, and same for me. Now, Swerve would have took this award for me. If this would have happened, if his rise would have caught and say summer, June, maybe, July even, I think he would have took this. But for 2024, I think he's the one to watch out for also. There's just bigger matches. And this dude he could potentially be AEW world champion in 2024, if you ask me. So Swerve is my prospect of the year for 2024, going into 2024.
All right, Devin, who you got?
Okay, so for me, I guess when I think about the word prospect, I think about somebody that's like newer in the business. Like Swerve's been in biz for a long time. So I guess for me, my prospect would be Julia Hart. I think the crowd is definitely behind her. I think the whole cheerleading thing wasn't really working for her. I mean, it was nice, you know, to get her introduction, but then when she flipped with the House of Black, I think she's done much better work in ring and character wise, and so for her, and I say honorable mention of Sky Blue as well. Not that they're together. Sky Blue's starting to blow up now, so I would definitely give it to Julia, but I think Sky Blue as well is one of the prospects I'm definitely looking for in 2024. But my breakout is gonna be Swerve, man. I gotta go with the brother, man. Like he. Some of the promos that he's cut, even him and Max last week, and his promo after the match this week when he lost to Triple Threat, just listening to this guy talk is like, it's captivating. And then you look at the matches, man. Like the dude, he's has probably some of the best matches this year. Period. We'll get to that later on, but just the quality of matches he's having and the character work. And then you got Prince Nana on the side doing the dance with him too, man. It's one of the best.
There we go, Kyle. I need you to do that every time we start the show, all right?
Not happening. But it's all right.
Yeah, but the Prince Nana dance is one of the best things going in wrestling today, man. So I'm going with Swerve Strickland at breakout star 2024. I mean 2023.
Love it, man. Hell yeah. What do we got left, man? How many categories?
So we've done so far. We've done heel of the year. We've done indie wrestler of the year. We've done prospect and breakout star. We've done pay-per-view of the year, tag team of the year. We've got match of the year, promotion of the year, and wrestler of the year left.
Okay. Well, who's next?
I picked.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was doing the bad. My bad.
Oh, what? Oh, come on. Have the baby hold the camera so we can see it in full.
Man, she gonna launch this phone over the stairs, man. That's what she gonna do with it.
All right, J-Bone, what you got next?
I'm picking next. Okay. I feel like we need to say match of the year and rest of the year for the end here. So we'll do promotion of the year. We'll get this one out of the way. And for me, it's so hard. It's such a. Here's the one.
I don't feel like
we're
this
talking about.
one's very
Listen,
hard at all.
I think it's hard for if you really love wrestling, bro. Like, what are you watching? Are you basing it on numbers? Are you basing it on taste? Are you basing it on just your personal interest? It's freaking hard for me, but I feel like newsworthy. I'm just gonna have to say WWE, man. Just with the TKO merger and the UFC and everything, like that's a big deal. Vince being gone, we shed some new light on the wrestling world. It's like God himself came down and just opened the door for us. But we'll get into the other shit later. But for me, it's WWE. I don't think the baby liked that answer.
I think she was saying it should have been somebody else. So, Devin, who do you think it is? Let's see if you can have the right answer.
I mean, for a guy that doesn't watch WWE as much, I still have to go with WWE, man. They are killing it right now. I think this is going to lead to a bigger conversation that we probably have to have another day. But, man, AEW got a lot of work to do as far as, like, cleaning up their image because they some of the stuff that they've done has painted them in a bad light. CM Punk situation, Tony Khan not necessarily being the leader that he really needs to be, and just all the leaks in that backstage area, man. It's a bad look for AEW. NWA, I think they're coming up. They're doing some good things. Pac, I feel like they have good pay-per-views anytime.
Well, remember TNA.
I'm sorry, TNA. I'm sorry, but just the year that this is probably one of, if not the biggest year in the history of WWE. And for a guy that doesn't watch WWE as much, I gotta admit, like this has been a banger of a year. I will say the Bloodline storyline kind of dying off a little bit, but then the Judgment Day just came right in that spot and picked it right up. So it's like they haven't lost momentum, man, at all this year from beginning to end. The momentum has been going the whole year.
All right. So, well, it looks like we're all on the same accord on this one because I feel like you can't not pick WWE at this point. In the sense that, like, I mean, even if you're trying to look at the outside metrics, like what you were saying, J-Bone, like, wanting to kind of go off the green and wanting to not necessarily make the stereotypical pick, but how do you not pick WWE when they're, like you said, Devin, they're as hot as they've been since the Attitude Era. They're breaking records everywhere they go. We just went to the house show last night, and we said, look how packed up the house show was. And they didn't even have CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes.
No Randy.
I mean, no Rhea, no. You didn't have none of that on there. And they still, I mean, it might not have been sold out, but it was packed up pretty good. And I mean, realistically, look at all the coverage it's getting on like ESPN and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just feel like if you're looking at this realistically, there's no way that it can't be WWE.
Oh, it's just going to get bigger right now. This is prime season, dude. We're going to the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania season. These numbers are going to grow, and the coverage is going to be bigger. Like, this is like global. You know what I mean? It's just like Devin said, this might be the best year that they've had in the history, numbers wise. And it's without Vince McMahon. That's freaking crazy. You never even thought we'd see that day. So.
Well, and not only that, look at it in this sense. All three brands are thriving. Like literally, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT are all doing well. Think about the fact that CW, and I hope this doesn't affect NWA, but think about the fact that CW is picking up NXT. So it's going to be the first time that they've been on a separate network from where Raw and all that's been, really, since they've had them on TV. So the fact that NXT is even doing as well as it is, to the point where they're getting put on separate networks because people are vying for their TV time when they're the quote unquote developmental brand. So
yeah, I'm with you.
I don't know. I just feel like there's not really much other way you can go with that one. All right. So we've got
two more.
We've got two more. So we've got Wrestler of the Year and we got Match of the Year. Devin, which one you want?
Let's do. Are we doing a male and a female? Or are we doing just all?
We're doing male and a female wrestler.
All right. Well, let's do Wrestler of the Year. For me, I'm gonna go ladies first. It's got to be Timeless Tony Storm, man.
I like that.
I like it.
Dude, like her in the I forgot what their name was, the Outcast. She was good in there too, and had a championship reign while she was a member of the Outcast. Then to break away from them into her own thing, into this. You don't like Tony Storm, baby?
She said you picked wrong.
Well, you wanted Willow? Yeah, she wanted Willow. Okay. But no, for her to break off into this timeless Tony Storm character, and for me to watch the transformation to that character was amazing.
And Luther.
But I think she had the line of the year, man. She told Sky Blue, "I have some advice for you. Walk backwards, because the only time someone has something nice to say about you is when they're talking about your bottom." And I'm like,
I laughed out loud at that one.
I'm like, that might be the diss of the year, man. And it was another moment that stood out to me when she wasn't even in it. They were talking to, I'm sorry, not Paige, Soraya and Rhea. And not Rhea, Ruby. And Ruby just said something like, "Well, I don't know where Tony is. I think she's in the parking lot half naked throwing shoes at birds or something like that." And I'm like, what? And it's just the character work that she's done this year has been amazing. In ring speaks for itself. We already know she's a really good wrestler, but the character work that she's put in from the Outcast days and then transforming into what she is now has been amazing. And honestly, she is the only thing as far as the women's division in WWE that is carrying it. So, Timeless Tony Storm is my female wrestler of the year. Male wrestler of the year, even though he wrestles more than he doesn't wrestle that often, but he's been wrestling a lot more this year. The MJF, man, for him to have a top heel and arguably the top baby face in the same year, I give the guy credit. Like that baby face transformation. They always say, you hear like a lot of the old heads say, like, if you're a great heel, you also baby face. MJF is a perfect example of that. And the thing is, he's not that different of a character, but he's got this crowd bought into everything, man. And the fact they've gone like the whole second half of the year as a baby face, and it's just as hot as him as a heel, I think he's the wrestler of the year.
Like it. Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
All right, I'm going to try
quiet.
Not bad at it. All right, J-Bone, who you got?
I'm next. All right, so my female wrestler of the year, I hope I'm stealing your pick, Kyle, for the record. Female wrestler of the year, for me, this is based on everything I see, I got to choose Rhea Ripley. She has carried the WWE, at least the WWE women's side, for the whole year. Everything she's done with the Judgment Day, arguably the leader, right? She is the leader. Let's face it. She's the leader of Judgment Day. The whole story with the Judgment Day, her matches, she had potentially one of the matches of the year at WrestleMania with Charlotte, speaks volumes of her work in the ring, outside the ring. Rhea's a top star. So my female wrestler of the year, Rhea Ripley. Now, Male wrestler of the year. This one I had to juggle a lot of things here, man. I had to match wise, promo wise, just build ups, just everything for me. But if I got to choose one, I'm choosing Will Ospreay. The guy has had, if you look in the charts and if you dig deep in the independent wrestling community and the internet wrestling community, Will Ospreay has had up to this day 4 out of the top 5 matches of the year. So I'm picking him, Will Ospreay, my male wrestler of the year.
All right, not the pick I thought you were going to have. All right. Well, you definitely stole my female pick because I'm going with Rhea Ripley as well. I don't really think that there's another answer that you could really have than that. Obviously, some of the other names I thought about were like Io Sky with her winning the championship and what she's been doing. I also thought a lot about Bianca Belair, but when it comes down to it and you talk dominance and things for what they did, also I look back to what they did. It was that Crown Jewel, or which one of the Saudi pay-per-views was that, where they had like the fatal 4-way or whatever it was for the title. Like, how groundbreaking is that to be the champion in a situation like that? And then to be able to have the match that they had over there, when just a couple years ago they weren't even allowed to have matches, and they had a fatal 4-way match for a title. That was a very good match. And like you said, the Judgment Day has really kind of picked up right where, the bloodline thing kind of fell off. And I would say that Rhea is the leader of them. And I think when she finally gets tired of her dom shit and Finn Balor and all them, I think we're going to see Rhea back on her own, and she'll be just as big a baby face as she was before, but now with an even bigger badass edge. All right. Now,
that's going to be a sad day for the record when her and Dom split. The whole world just going to be crying together.
And you know who's going to be the most upset? Buddy Matthews.
Buddy Matthews.
I'm just going to say that new arcade game that they just got was fucking badass.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know if you've seen that, but that was fucking sweet. I don't remember the name of the arcade place, but they like made them like a custom arcade. Like half of it's like Buddy Matthews and the House of Black joint, and half of it's black and purple and Rhea on the other end, and it's badass looking.
Yeah.
All right. As far as male superstar, at first thought, Cody was the answer for me. I thought between WrestleMania and everything else that we saw, I thought that it was Cody. But then I sat and thought about it, and I thought in the terms of, while we're talking hottest superstar, sure. But he's had his ups and downs this year when you consider he hasn't been in the title picture that whole time. He didn't get to finish the story at the end of at WrestleMania last year. He's had great matches with the other people that he's had matches with this year. But when I sat and thought about it, I think the guy that I have to go with for Wrestler of the Year is the guy that I got to talk to in Chicago at the Survivor Series press conference.
Name drop.
Gunther. I think Gunther had the year as far as male wrestler of the year.
I like that.
That pick because that motherfucker's been untouchable. And now that they're throwing around him versus Brock at Mania, take my money. Take my money. I told Devin, you can say whatever you want, but if you try to tell me that watching WWE or not watching WWE that you don't want to see that match, you're full of shit. So my picks, and it was hard for me to say that because Will Ospreay was up there too, because Will Ospreay has been my favorite to watch. But when I thought about overall year and the historic reign and all those things, Gunther is my wrestler of the year. Rhea Ripley is my female wrestler of the year.
I dig it. Some good pick.
That's the one. And I was gonna do return of the year, but I mean I feel like that was gonna be one we were all gonna pick the same. So before we get out of here, Well, Devin, since this is your first time back on the show in a while, what are your thoughts on the return of one Phillip Brooks or CM Punk?
Honestly, I don't care.
Wow.
Look, I'm a big CM. I was a big CM Punk fan, but the whole AEW thing just gave me a bad taste. And so honestly, hey, have at it, man. Hopefully it works out, but don't care, man. It's and look, I'm not saying that CM Punk is completely innocent in that AEW situation. I'm not saying he's completely wrong in that situation. My point is that it seems like Kyle, you and me had this conversation about John Jones, how I think he's the greatest MMA fighter of all time. But getting excited for what his fights, I can't do it anymore because I can't trust him to show up for his fights or him not to get in some kind of trouble. It's kind of the same thing with CM Punk now, man. It's like, yeah, it's all happy and rainbows when he first comes, but after a while, Phil Brooks turns into Phil Brooks, and he's gonna not like something. He doesn't know how to shut the fuck up and let it go, and it's gonna cause problems. So, I'm not surprised he went back. Yeah, but do I think it's going to end well? Probably not, because of his track record, man. So it's just like I didn't get excited for it at all. It's just okay.
I think it's really we're really gonna figure out what it is when it comes to WrestleMania time. If he doesn't get what he wants around WrestleMania, around the big show, I think that's really when we're gonna see if there's something that's gonna happen there. You know what I mean? Because if he gets something that just doesn't matter, you can't expect him not to be outspoken about it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't think he was coming back if it was less than that. But at the same time, I also feel like to Devin's point, with the way that AEW played out, I feel like he had to go into WWE realizing that he wasn't going to be able to have as much say like he did over there. Like, I feel like he had to know that going back there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to say that if he does, like you said, if he doesn't get put in a main event or at least something that is comparable to that, I could see that being an issue. But part of me really believes that there has to be part of him that now that things went the way they did in AEW, that he's got to realize that this is his last shot. So I'd like to think that this is going to go better than what we saw in AEW, because I don't think that that's the way he wants CM Punk to be remembered.
And let me throw this in there too, man. And I'm hoping that it's part of the character that he's building up, but like listening to him talk about WWE, it rings hollow for me, because for the past 10 years you've been bashing the company, and now you're all like, "Oh man, I'm glad to be home." Like, I hope it's part of the character. I hope it's part of the I hope that's what it is. But I don't care. It's like, all right, I hope it works out for you, man.
Match of the year. I feel like there's a few picks for this. Since you reminded me, Devin, I'll let you go first. Which match did you pick?
Okay. I think someone's going to pick this one, so I'm not going to pick it. I'm once again going to give credit to my man Swerve Strickland and his match with Hangman Page in the Texas Death match. Honestly, one of the sickest matches I've ever seen in my life, man. Like, I got if you can make me uncomfortable watching wrestling, man, you're doing a hell of a job. I got uncomfortable a couple times watching that match, man. Like, you do
too much blood.
Yeah, the Triple H blood spit. I'm like, oh my god, what is this, man? And then the irony of Swerve hanging the Hangman at the end of the match, man. Great. The storytelling leading into it was great. The match was great. It was bloody, violent. I'm gonna go with that, my man Swerve and Hangman for match of the year.
All right, J-Bone, who you got?
I gotta start going first, man, because you guys just fucking steal all my shit.
That was yours?
That was my first pick. Yeah, I'll pivot. Though. I'm gonna pivot.
I thought I was going off.
I'm gonna pivot though. I'll go to my second. My honorable mention is now my number one. I feel like Kyle's like, damn it, don't pick what I'm picking. I'm going Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega 2.
Fuck! I knew that was gonna happen. Fuck! I knew I should have.
we watched this one together, man. And
damn it! I knew I should have picked. I should have went next when he didn't pick it. We got it twice
this year, right? We got it in January at Wrestle Kingdom 17, and then we got it again at Forbidden Door 2. It's just one of those matches, dude. They're legacy matches every time now. Every time they step in the ring together, it gets better and better every single time. No matter what our expectations of them are in the same match, it just gets better and better and more impressive every time we watch them. So that one sticks out. Well, kind of second, I guess now, but Devin took my pick, so that's gonna be my pick, man.
I'm shocked, man. I thought you were gonna go with Roman and Sammy. That's why I pivoted to Swerve and Hangman.
So Ospreay, Kenny 2, Forbidden Door 2. Kyle, what you got, man?
You know what I just picked. You
he's shuffling the deck over there now. You gotta figure it out.
That boy is tilting over there. You see him? Just tilted.
Man, I mean, Ospreay Omega's got to be it for me. I mean, dude, that match was nuts, man. Yeah, that's still my pick.
Sorry, Kyle. I didn't mean to.
Ospreay Omega is still my pick. I mean, I've said it multiple times on the show. I mean, obviously, I like Kenny Omega, and as we talked about with Big Swole and AJ Francis and Mega Ran, like shout out to Kenny Omega. I hope they can figure this diverticulitis thing out. But Will Ospreay is my favorite guy to watch right now. I really enjoy the stuff that guy does, and the match between them two, the promo going into it from Will Ospreay about how he's got to put his kid through school and how this all means so much more to him now and all these things, man. Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega has got to be it.
Man, like we said earlier, dude, Ospreay is in stats wise, when you pick the stars and the ratings, he's in 4 out of the top 5 matches of the year. Yeah, you got that one with Naito classic. You know what I mean? So that's why he was my wrestler of the year. So.
Yeah. As far as match of the year,
he is mad right now. Look at him.
No, I just there's nothing else I can say. Like that was literally it. Like I was, when you didn't say it, I was like, all right, cool, we'll be all right. And then as soon as he started talking, I knew he was about to take it. But
I did have a third one on my list. It was MJF and Bryan Danielson.
That's a really good one.
There's a one I kind of forgot about for real. I don't know how I forgot about it, but
yeah, that's a really good one. If I'm not this one,
that's why I pivoted. But hey,
yeah, I'm going Ospreay
every year now.
What'd you say?
Make sure you go first every year now, so this don't happen to you.
Yeah, I'm picking Ospreay and Kenny on that one. But a match that really stuck out to me that I love the concept of it, and I thought both matches really over delivered. Like, I wouldn't put it in match of the year, but I really liked the Iron Survivor matches at Deadline.
NXT? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one that Trick Williams won when he was down and had no falls with 2 minutes left in the match and scored 5 straight falls.
Yeah.
And then the women's match was really fucking good too. So that's something that I really like the concept of that. I wouldn't say it's my match of the year, but it was one that stuck out where I was like, dude, that was really good. And man, that place went nuts for Trick Williams as well. But yeah, my match of the year is Ospreay and Kenny. For me, that was it. That was the one that I watched that one. I watched that one a bunch of times. So yeah, that one's it for me, man. And I feel like that kind of wraps up the knockouts for us, dude. I'm excited to see what we're going to see in 2024. The shirts hopefully will be coming soon for it, but ring the bell because I'm ready to get to the Royal Rumble. I'm ready to see the Battle Rumble, and I'm ready to see what else old Mega Ran's got on tap. And who knows, maybe I'll come home with another tattoo. With that said,
that's 2 days. Half. Bam. Lindsay Snow and Mega Ran. We got there.
We already talked about Mega Ran, Big Swole, and AJ. What do you mean?
Oh, I was like, well, we're way over 3.5 days.
Look, just because you picked up daddy roll and don't get to hang out all the time, don't got to be a hater.
Hey,
all right.
We're hanging out. Hey, even though you're going to the Rumble, man, we're going to be hanging out at the house, Devin. Like I said, you're more than welcome to swing by, man.
For sure, man. For sure.
Stay tuned to 2024. I heard pay-per-view parties are coming back. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and make sure y'all get make sure you stay tuned to all them social medias at KO3C Pod. Make sure you guys have a happy new year. Be safe and don't do anything that we wouldn't do or even that Stone Cold would do. In the meantime and in between time, don't be swerving when you drive, just like Devin, because then the boys will be coming for you. In the meantime and in the in-between time, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to Potter's Tree Service. Peace.